Welcome to the first Mercedes Dialogues in 2019. Now, it's not just the first Mercedes Dialogues in 2019, it's the first one that we're doing with you. Say hello to our new MD and CEO of Mercedes-Benz India, Martin Schwenk. Hello.
Hello, Ramona.
How are you?
Very well, yeah.
Excited to be here?
Absolutely.
Excited about the Mercedes Dialogues?
I'm curious to see what's going to happen next.
All right. Well, it's kind of hot out here. So what do you say? Let's sit in there since we've just launched this beautiful V-Class today. India's first luxury MPV.
Yes, let's use it. Let's use it. Yeah,
yes?
please.
Okay, let's do this.
Come to my side, please. So I'm faster.
Whew. So I'm sure everybody's very excited to hear all the questions.
I hope so.
Yeah?
I hope so.
Oh, this is very comfortable. I'm really liking this.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can be proud of what we do here with the new V-Class that we just launched. Yeah, I mean, it's spacious, it's luxurious, and very versatile. So I'm curious how the customers will respond to that.
Yeah, and you know, we've never done this. We've never done a Mercedes Dialogues from inside the car.
It's always the first time.
Always the first time. I love this. So, shall we get started?
Please.
Okay. So our first question comes from Varun Sharma from the city of Kangra, and he says, tell us about your journey with Mercedes. How has your experience in India been so far?
I would say I'm a die-hard Mercedes man. Yeah, I worked for more than 25 years with the company.
Wow.
And I've worked in many different locations. Yeah, obviously, and you will pick that up from my accent, I'm German. Yeah.
Yeah.
I started in Germany my career, but I worked in South Africa. I was in Austria. I lived for quite some years in the US.
Right.
I was in China prior to coming to India, and now I'm in India. Yeah, so I have seen a lot of things, and I can say India is really outstanding. I enjoy it a lot. It's so
really?
Yes, yes.
What do you like most so far?
I think it's the people. Yeah, it's really the people. Yeah, because they are so friendly. Yeah, and very open. And a lot of nice interactions I had in the last 2.5 months. So I really have to say I enjoy that.
That's so nice to hear. So off to a good start. And
Obviously.
It's going to be an even better year because Mercedes-Benz India completes 25 years this year.
Yes, 25 years we are in the country, and I think we can be proud of that. And I personally am proud, and I see a lot of pride with everybody in my own team. I see it with the customers, I see it with the dealers. I see a lot of pride here. Yeah.
Yes, so lots to look forward to for sure. Now we've got Parav from Ahmedabad. And he says, how does it feel to come from MB's biggest global market to a relatively smaller market like India? So from China to India.
Well, I think it's difficult to compare. Yeah, I would think we should not really compare. The situation is very different. China has a completely different environment. It's completely differently set out. Infrastructure is different. People are different. So India has its own specifics. For me, it's very fascinating to be here, and I think in India there is a lot of aspiration, there's a lot of can-do mentality, and I think there's also a lot of customers we will have at the moment and will have in future as well. So overall, I think without any doubt, India is on a good growth track, and I'm sure we'll stay on that.
Awesome. So, Nikhil from Faridabad has quite a long question coming up for you. He says Mercedes-Benz has dominated luxury car sales in India over the past few years in spite of changing economic factors. And without a doubt, India is a market where we value peace of mind over anything else. Do you see after sales and attractive warranty or service packages as a big contributor to the brand's current position? Well, in terms then of that, in terms of the competence of the cars themselves.
I'm glad actually for that question, because I always get asked about you are number one in sales. Yeah, what do you do to stay number one in sales? And it's all about the sales volume.
Right.
On the other hand, it's the underlying topics like brand, having a very strong brand, and it's about customer service. Because the customer service part is the one which makes the customer attached to the brand. That's the touch points
Right.
we have with the customers. That's the dealers who have that. And one of the elements we push there heavily is service packages. We have very strong and competitive offerings of all kinds. They're very competitive, and unlike sometimes the perception is it's very expensive, but I would say we have one of the best priced offerings in terms of worry-free servicing of your vehicle.
Yep.
Yeah, I would clearly say that the other element which we push for is being present in the whole country. We have at present 93 outlets all over India, and this big footprint helps us to stay related and stay in touch with our customers and our customer base, be it workshop or sales. So I think that's another very important element how we strive to stay ahead of the pack.
Right. And even though he says about the competence of the cars, I mean, everybody knows the standard Mercedes-Benz.
I think that the cars, that's I think why I like the question, because
Yeah.
we can basically assume the cars are number one anyways.
Exactly,
yeah? I
yeah.
mean, by design, by functionality, and if I look into a car like this one, also by innovation. Yeah, I mean, there's no such luxury MPV in the market.
No.
Yeah, so I really think this is something very special, and we always ahead of everybody else when it comes to opening new segments.
Absolutely. Our next question comes from Coimbatore, and Gurdeep Singh Anand asks, would love to know more about the segment the V-Class falls under. Is it a sedan or a hatchback? Would also like to know the specifications such as BHP, cylinders, length, variations, etc.
Well, I mean, that's a good fit. I was just talking about opening new segments because, quite honestly, it drives like a luxury sedan, and it has space like an MPV, and it certainly is not a hatchback. If you could see inside the roominess of that, we can almost have a party in that car. So it is something very special, and we call it a luxury MPV. And we would say it's a new segment. It's not the sedan segment, it's not a hatchback or a SUV segment. It's something entirely new, which we create here in the market. In terms of specifications, we have a 2.1 liter BS6 compliant diesel engine, which does 120 kilowatts. And it's actually quite a strong engine. You will be able to just over 10 seconds to be on 100 kilometers, and it has 195 kilometers per hour as top speed. Yeah.
Wow, wow, that's amazing. Okay, let's take the next question. It comes from Navi Mumbai. Mohammed Kashif Mohammed Zubair Chilmai asks, do you see a future in India with electric vehicles replacing combustion engine with the infrastructure we currently have in the country? Good question.
Yeah, and I think it's the nerve of the time. These questions,
Yeah.
I have received many of them also when I speak to the press.
Right.
I would think electric will have its place in future. In the short term, I think the best we can do is really focus all our energies on converting onto BS6 compliant vehicles. We will do that by end of the year, before the government regulation actually requires that.
Right.
But I really think this is something that is necessary in order to get the basics right. From there on, I would think further electrification of drivetrain will happen.
Right.
There will be completely electric vehicles, battery electric vehicles, but there will also be PHEVs in the future. But I would believe we still need a few more steps to be really in a rapid growth on that topic. Government regulation is one thing, infrastructure, and at the end customer demand.
Right.
Customer demand is still hesitant. It's not like they knocking on our doors and say, I want an electric car.
Vehicle,
So
yeah.
it's still in a growing situation. In the mid to long term, I'm confident we will see a lot of movement also in India then.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, Mahike from Kolkata, your question's up next. What are Mercedes-Benz India's plans in 2019 to counter competition and be number one again?
Well, I think some topics were already mentioned. I mean, we 25 years in the country, we are the most successful luxury brand.
Right.
And there's a lot of pride in the brand, and that will be the base on which we act. We will in 2019 have also new products like this one. It's a fabulous opportunity for me to open a new segment and a new year with this car. So this is the first one this year, but we will have 10 more launches over the year.
Ooh.
Of all sorts of models. We'll have ones for the sports enthusiasts. We'll see AMG models coming. We'll have something for the SUV, and we'll have movement on the sedan world. There will be a lot of excitement going forward on the product side. Furthermore, we will be continuously focusing on customer service, customer dedication. I mean, we won the J.D. Power customer service satisfaction and sales satisfaction late last year.
Right.
2 awards I'm really proud of.
Yes.
So we are we need to further improve and stay in touch with our customers to make sure that everybody who has any touch point with the brand, be it the dealers, be it directly with us, be it with the product, is completely satisfied and will come back then to us. So that will remain a strong focus of us, which I believe is a strong enabler for future development.
Absolutely right. Siddharthan from Chennai, your question's coming up next. Will there be Autopilot Commute in the future? I like this.
I'm sure there will be. I'm sure there will be. The question is when and under what conditions.
Right.
And today's systems are already capable of doing it. We have a few cars who actually can do that. However, I mean, safety comes first, safety of passengers, but also obviously of pedestrians and other participants in the traffic scenario.
Like elephants
like
cows in India.
Elephants and cows. And you're quite right, that's one of the specific conditions. I think the autopilot function will be first available in like highway style conditions, where you have more constant flow and less of interference or impromptu reactions.
Yes.
And the conditions here on our domestic roads, that might take a little longer to get fully used to that. So we'll certainly have use case scenarios which go maybe first from highway overland scenarios, then to cities. But I also think it will happen in India. I just would believe the time frame is a little bit longer than if you think of a situation like in the US, for example, where you have big broad highways and you can barrel down at 60 miles an hour. I mean, it's much easier to steer and control that than if you think of Mumbai and getting through the city to the airport. It's a completely different situation. Yeah.
So, what's your experience been like getting to the airport? I'm kidding.
No, I mean it takes quite some time from north from south to north to. I mean, it can take anywhere between like 45 to 1 hour or so, depending on where you are in the city.
Or longer.
Or even longer. Yeah. So now with the constructions going on the metro system, which I think is a very good idea. Yep. But still, it adds burden to the traffic scenario. So it is congested and not easy. Yeah.
Mukesh from Delhi, your question's up next. What is that one key and prime element which is keeping Mercedes-Benz ahead of all other competition? What is your own personal thought about growing competition in India in the luxury car market?
The one key and prime element that's always very difficult to answer, because it's always a combination.
Correct.
I think obviously for me very important the brand. I spoke already about it, but I also think we have beautifully designed cars. I mean, the design of our cars has completely changed over the last couple of years, and now we have modern stylish cars which appeal to many people.
Right.
So and with the styling you attach to people, and that's your door opener. Then the door is open, but then you still haven't won completely. You need then a network which is able to sell the cars, to reach out, to connect with the customers, to service them, to make sure that the customers are happy not only when they buy it, but also when they come back for maintenance or so that's the whole thing. So at the end also product and very strong dealer network is two essential elements you need to have at the end customer service that is satisfying and a good sales experience for our customers.
Absolutely. And any thought about the growing competition in the luxury car market?
Yes, I think, as always, I would think competition is very important, and growth of competition is also good, because we all together need to push the luxury car market in India to higher levels. We have at the moment a luxury car penetration of 1.2%, which is very low compared to the global view in other countries. So I would definitely say competition is healthy. It will help us. And I think the upcoming competitors, they will have their own challenges. Yeah, so I deal with my challenges, and I'm pretty confident we have a very strong chance to stay ahead of the pack, be it with volumes, but also with customer and all new products we have lined up.
I'm pretty sure. So, our next question. I wish to ask you what is unique in V-Class as compared to other Benz. This is from Yash Shah in Mumbai.
For me, it's the first ever luxury MPV, I would say, in this size. It is very versatile, it is new in the segment, and I mean, if you were now here with me, you would probably not even ask the question, because it is very roominess. We have different ways to sit in it. For example, there's a 6-seating configuration which enables 2 people sit like this. Then we have the table, and we have 2 other people sitting to the front. So you can travel to the airport in Mumbai, for example, and you can have a work meeting. You can have a coffee together. And chat, or you travel with your family out of the city, do some excursion and come back. So there's a lot of opportunities for business and for private people, which makes it very, very special, and an offering in that sense that has not been here in the luxury segment. Right.
So the next question from Pune is from Ferian Ketan Dedia. I like this question. Asks, does the new V-Class have massager seats?
Actually, it does not, but I would say it has enough space that you can maybe motivate one of your friends who travels with you to give you some massage. So it would be possible to actually do that, but we don't have that at the moment.
Right. The Maybach and S-Class have the lovely hot stone massage.
They have, they have.
Yes. So, important question from Facebook. Jaideep Reddy asks, what's the price of the all-new V-Class?
The price of the V-Class starts at 68 lakhs. I think a very, very strong offering for a luxury car like this, and I'm glad to say that, because I believe there will be a lot of interest and customers who would like to drive the car.
Oh, I'm very sure about that. Another question from Parimal in Dehradun says, today's MB portfolio is overwhelmingly diesel, but the days of the diesel engine seem to be numbered. How are you prepared for this?
As I mentioned earlier, our focus at the moment is on BS6 implementation. But on the other hand, Mercedes-Benz being a global brand, I have the luxury that in the global product portfolio we have all kinds of engines available. It's obviously petrol engines, but the lineup is growing at the moment rapidly to include hybrids, PHEVs. It includes electric vehicles. In the next 3-4 years, we have like 10 solely electric vehicles available, and the plan here is to see what the market requires, to see what the regulation will be doing, to see how infrastructure is developing, and as soon as we see there is a value proposition to the customers here, we can relatively quickly implement and get the required model or models here into India. So I'm sure we'll see some movement, but I don't make any predictions at the moment.
Right. And the last one, also from Dehradun, Parimal asks, how do you plan to celebrate MB India's 25th anniversary? I want to know too.
I mean, we have a whole lot of events. We do events like this one. Right. We have our motto, which is 25 years, best never rest, and we will promote that around the year. We'll have special events, and I think one which I will definitely look forward to, we'll have an event with all the employees later in the year to celebrate as well, because I found with the team I have around me on the shop floor, in the offices, so much emotion, so much pride. So I personally think that will be the highlight of the celebration year for me, the one which we share it with everybody in the team that has contributed to the 25 years in India.
And we can celebrate in this big, beautiful car by fitting so many people in. Well, it's been fun. How did you enjoy your first Mercedes Dialogues?
Absolutely. I really liked it. It's very interesting, very communicative, and I like it, Yeah,
it's nice, right? Because here the people can directly speak to you, the MD, the CEO of Mercedes-Benz India.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for having this chat with us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
And here's to the first of many in this year.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. See you guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.